start. We start now.
Okay, we started. We're doing things. What's happening?
Chapter 8 is happening. Kill screen.
Oh no, I'm gonna die!
I'm not allowed to die. Spunk is gonna die. Maybe.
Oh no, I'm gonna die!
It is the distant future year, 20XX. And you have a skip button in 20XX.
So it's time to get frustrated?
I mean, come on. We had a single lousy day and that's enough to send the masses running and screaming? Talk about overkill. It's frustrating to see all this amazing fun on display and nobody enjoying it. These games yearn for quarters. They are hungry and must be fed. I don't honestly know how we can recover from this. If we could only get the good word out, somehow correct this PR disaster. Seated behind the ticket desk with my crutches propped up nearby, light duty only for a week minimum, doctor's orders, I tried to mentally detangle this mess.
Hey Iris, are we skipping? Sadly, I'm not particularly interested in your surprisingly cheap prizes. Can't see how you expect to turn a profit with such a ticket to prize ratio in effect. No, I'm here to make one final offer. Die.
What? He was offering to die? That sounds great.
Am I not generous?
This is against my better judgment, given the bad blood between us. But let it not be said that Deco Nami is an unforgiving or cruel person.
I'm an unforgiving or cruel person. Can we deck him again?
Deck the halls with something, something, la 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 la. Yes, please.
I look forward to when we are doing a bold run.
Soon.
Fuck yeah!
I'm ready to sell it completely. I do have a few terms and conditions, however. Hey, Ro!
Row! I know.
Deco, no. Yeah.
When we
Sorry, I don't
do
put it-
one
I
of the
don't put
bold
it in the Hamza
characters,
voice.
we're absolutely gonna tell him to fuck off.
I don't do it in the Hamza voice. Can you do it in the Hamza voice?
What? Dekonami?
Yeah.
Dekonami.
Better. I'm going to require...
Hamza does not approve. Oh,
Wait, what?
allow.
Yes, allow that.
I am so. Oh.
Okay, there, Twitch.
I'm
Okay, Twitch. What?
very confused by Twitch here, but okay.
They tried to censor it just in case we were a wholesome Christian stream.
Well, did they? Because it said add permitted term hell space NE space GR.
I think the NE and GR are things, words I can't remember. I don't know. I'm gonna require $500,000 a year, including stock options in Deco's Palace. I'll need some cars, the kind you can only see in fancy cop shows. That's fine. And no dexterity. Yeah, well. I also have no dexterity, so I feel ya. Hey, 50-room mansion with a majestic overlook of the ocean. Sermons to feed and grapes. My own TV and movie franchise about my amazing exploits. And if you could throw in your kidneys, that'd be great too. Kidneys go a lot on the open market. So, deal? Dot. I'll take that as a no. So be it. I guess I'll just have to settle for buying the burnt out husk skipping lead. Way outside the box. No idea is too wacky for me. Let's Animaniacs this stuff. Show up at Sue's doorstep claiming to be from sweepstakes. She already may be a winner. Sure, why not? Find a radioactive spider to fight us so we can tie criminals up like flies. Sounds good here. Elaborate heist sequence requiring a herd of elephants, 2 blimps, and 84 feet of lubricated rubber tubing? Absolutely. Wait, what?
Absolutely.
Is that supposed to be a reference to something?
I don't know.
Between all of us putting our heads together, we've got enough brain cells to light up Chicago. We can do this. We can do this. Who's with me?
I actually think that last line was funnier if I just assume it wasn't. If I just assume it's ridiculousness that is absolutely no reference whatsoever.
Well, I think the other two are references.
I think so.
So it makes sense the third was a reference.
No. Pure wacky.
Pure wacky hijinks here.
You've got Moxie Kid. I'm in. Well, you only live once. Suppose I'll contribute what I can.
Now we're talking. The wildest dance moves are always the hottest. Wait, what?
I'm really confused. If there was like a halfway through decision or something for Teo to have previously been quirky instead of Ashley, but I don't know. I'm very confused because this happened before too, right?
No, but I think this was the same. You got all 6 bonus. It's just they do 3 and 3.
Oh.
Because I think if you go ahead, they're going to show the next pair we're going to. Oh, or not. That doesn't make sense. Whatever.
I'm just out of curiosity.
Look around and I see the
Ashley shows up for Steady.
But wouldn't she be more quirky?
She should show up for both, because if it's 3 and 3, that means that it's each character with that trait.
Can you do kindly for a second and see if she shows up?
Isn't Teo supposed to be Steady Bold?
I don't remember.
Why would she show up for Kindly?
I don't know. Maybe it's that weird.
No, she and Teo have been switched.
What?
Because these are the 3 bold characters. Kindly Bold, Quirky Bold, and Teo would have been Steady Bold. And it was the same when we did the, what was it? When we did
The beach.
the beach, and it split the things.
Okay.
We do love Teo as well, Ro.
Yeah.
It just is not what we're expecting.
Yeah.
We've been doing a full quirky run on the premise that Ashley is quirky. Because who else would be quirky?
She's literally the quirkiest one.
There's literally a line that describes her as quirky at some point, so.
I think Dave just doesn't described her as that.
Hmm?
I thought that Des described her as quirky too.
Oh yeah, I haven't done it yet. Yes, Ashley. This is supposed to be the thrilling conclusion to the Ashley route, so... Although, I mean, if it's that she was actually secretly steady bold this whole time, that doesn't make sense, though.
No, they've even described her on one of their blog posts as steady quirky.
And one of the lines in the game described her as very, very quirky.
And Teo is described as steady gutsy, so I wonder if that's just a glitch.
I'm wondering if it, not as a glitch, because it's not a, it doesn't seem like a glitch thing. You know how bugs work. I know how bugs work.
Yeah.
That's fairly intentional. So I'm wondering, because the first time could have just been a mistake, but for the second time, I'm like, maybe it's that, God, I need this Twitch thing to, okay.
I think there's a setting.
One moment, I need Discord to stop showing people's real names
I think that,
in
I
the
think there's a
overlay.
setting in the overlay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I turned it off. We'll see. Hopefully, because we really don't want people's messages showing up on our stream. Now to just determine the how of the plan. Yeah, see, it's also like this. Is that why is Ashley on the bold one?
That's weird.
Because everyone else, like, well, no. Why is Naomi on the quirky one? I'm so confused. Anyway, Ashley.
Maybe the bold plan just involves Ashley?
Yeah. It's just interesting.
If we want this to succeed, I think our best bet is to take bets on the lovely chainsaw. Peeling just these rivals may just get us the info we need. Ashley, Queen Bait, since you're both the most excited about tussling with a rival gang, oh, excuse me, I'm putting you two in charge.
Since you're excited to tussle with a rival gang. Yeah, go tussle! But that seems like a bad idea. Have you looked at us, kid? We're both intelligent, badass women. We'll be able to infiltrate their ranks. Fucking easy.
And we'll make them talk, one way or another. Preferably without violence.
You two just kind of play fictional violence. The leader of Lovely Chainsaw shot us. So maybe keep the violence out because we'll lose.
Oh yes, Spunk. But I'll bring my prop weapons. For intimidation purposes only.
Or like, don't.
You made a shot? Don't even worry about it. You can totally count on us.
How? Confidence in this rapidly dwindling.
I'll leave it in your capable hands then.
Ashley, no, don't! Exactly! Ashley, no, don't get yourself shot!
Bring the prop shotguns!
And our fists. No! Ashley! Queen Bee, stop!
No one expects the prop shotguns.
Anyway, I guess it's Ashley narrating now.
Here we go. It's Ashley's time to shine. Spunk entrusted this very important mission to us. It's up to me and Queen Bee to triumph against our enemies. Foes. Same thing.
Different
Don't
words.
succeed. This will spell the end of some arcade place, as we know it. We can't let Spunk down. Not just them, but everyone else too. I refuse. I refuse to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And Spunk will be so proud of me. Heck, I'll be proud of me too. But if I'm happy to help them out any way I can. Spunk has already been such a help to me. It's the least I can do. We will do this, and we will find Sue's hideout. I just hope we can find a lovely Chainsaw's hideout first.
Whoa. It's the other side of this.
Oh my gosh!
It's the other side of the shopping center.
The other side exists!
Holy
it's real.
crap. Holy
I thought it
shit.
was a myth. This place is a strip mall of yesteryear. Most of these businesses have been empty for years, and people don't tend to linger in this area for too long. The other side. Don't go towards the light, Ashley. It's rather bleak, what with the boarded up windows and closed signs. The only things not in grayscale are various colorful graffiti tags covering the abandoned walls. But even though it feels like we are walking directly into a death trap, this just might be the coolest thing I'm about to do in my entire life!
Ashley! Stop it!
Let's go, Ashley!
Hey, Ash, you look a little too happy to be here. Wipe that grin off your face.
Yes! Good job, Ashley. Be insane. But we're about to sneak into the lovely Chainsaw's hideout spot, enter into a game of wits and strength, and force them to divulge dirt on their rival gang! Yes, Cat. I can hear Cat.
Cat! Yes. Mog is distressed because I haven't let him out yet. He wants to play, but there's no one outside my room to play with. And if I let him play on his own, he's gonna cause havoc. So he's walking back and forth while I pet him. Will you calm down, Mom? Come on.
Death and destruction to this gang! We will destroy them!
I have a kitty. Hi, Mog.
What could be more awesome than that? I think you mean he'll cause a catastrophe. Catastrophe?
I think there's literally a game
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. There was actually a game about that, where you play as a cat and your goal is to just break as much as you can.
Yeah, and I think there was a VR version, and I think I played that at, was it PAX a few years ago? I don't remember if it was VR actually. But I definitely did play it as a demo, and it was fun. You just run around knocking shit over.
That's about right.
Kitty! I also have another cat, but she's a lot more peaceful. So she's just sitting somewhere chilling.
Chill.
It sounds great. I'd love to be a cat. I would also love to be a cat. Sometimes I'm like doing my work and I'm like tired and everything. I'm just like, man, I want to be on the cat side of this equation. In which someone else does all the hard work and makes the money, and I just get to benefit with free food, housing, toys, free time all the time.
Something everybody wants to be a cat.
Sleeping as much as I want. That sounds great. Lots of naps.
I
Lots of
already
naps.
nap a lot.
Take 5 steps, take another nap.
Okay, there, Snorlax.
Hmm?
Because the cat knows where it's at. Thanks for finishing that, bro. Thumbs up.
Living to tell the tale. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Ash. Truly. But we also have to keep our heads about us. I don't want either of us ending up in the hospital like our fearless leader. Or worse. By the way, was that about prop weapons back at some arcade place?
Yes! I flinged the duffel bag over my shoulder and gently placed it on the ground.
No. No,
Yes.
not yes. No, 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 no. No!
Yes! Oh, these are all from past cosplays. I brought a ton of them. Are all different types too!
Not bad.
I doubt a foam sword will help much against their super real guns, but... what the hell, it'll help me project confidence.
Queen Bee shuffles through my bag. I hope she's using the utmost care with them. I spent, I don't know how many hours sanding, painting, gluing, and molding each and every one of those things, whatever. Eventually she pulls out a battle axe.
No, Ashley.
Yeah.
No, Queen Bee! Stop! You do!
Perfect.
Fuck yeah! That's what I'm talking about it. How fucking cool do I look wielding this?
The coolest. I grin widely as Queen Bee poses with the two-handed axe. Honestly, I don't think she could have chosen a more appropriate weapon. It fits her perfectly. I take another minute to rifle through my stash and pull out the magical girl wand from my some arcade place mascot outfit. I mean, a battle axe is a good choice under the circumstances. Exactly.
I think that in terms of speed, pistol might beat battle axe. Just saying.
A prop battle axe, too.
Yes. I'm just saying two-handed weapon versus gun. Although I suppose a chainsaw would be a two-handed weapon.
Yes, that is a true statement. A chainsaw would be a two-handed weapon. Hey. I'm here to represent.
You have a bunch of fake weapons. At least the battle axe is cool. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking that it's probably safer to not walk into a gang den carrying a bunch of fake weapons because you're just gonna get yourself killed. But, okay. I mean, if you must, battle axe is cool.
I must.
Also, maybe, like, don't represent, Ashley. Maybe
Represent.
don't go to represent because they'll recognize you and kill you for letting a rival gang into your arcade in the first place.
How are we supposed to know they were a rival gang?
Should have known that was their turf. Should have done your research on where you were opening up a business.
That's all in Spunk. And Gavin.
Okay, but they don't know different people's roles in the arcade. And if you go in representing, this just feels exceedingly bad.
This is gonna be great. I love it. Let's go. Arms brandishing, ready for action. I look around the strip mall. And I'm lost. So now what? How are we supposed to do this?
That newbie FOD player I was chatting with told me the lovely chainsaw typically hangs out here during the day.
Right, step 1 is complete. We're already here. What's step 2?
See the remains of that coffee shop? Newbie informed me that's the exact location where they meet up.
Is that where they do illicit drugs? Have fight clubs? Drink themselves into a stupor?
Probably nothing quite that Hollywood, but hey, who knows? Let's get this party started. There's no turning back now.
Being beat was marching towards the direction of the hangout, and almost without hesitation, I grab her arm, making her stop in her tracks. She turns around, looking at me, a quizzical expression on her face.
Mog is distressed.
Well, stop distressing the cat.
Mog. What's wrong? Did your sister get up? Did your sister sneak away? I think my other cat slipped away. I'll be right back. Maybe that's why Mog is distressed. Yes, she did. Pizza. Hey,
Ah!
Mog.
Mew 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 mew.
Yep. Seems like Kate Sith must have slipped in while I was bringing my lunch inside. Womp.
Now will you stop fussing, Mog? Now
No.
that your sister's back.
No.
He's just looking at me like, what?
Quack quack. Hey, Queen Bee, if I don't make it out of this alive, please tell Spunk that I love him dearly and...
Let me stop you right there. First off, you're not going to die. I won't let that happen. Plus, Spunk would never forgive me if I let you perish. It's easy to see how much Spunk truly cares about you.
Really? I mean, I know they cares about me, but no matter how many times they tell me that they love me, it's just hard to fathom it.
Why is that?
Spunk means so much to me. Without them, I wouldn't be as accepting of myself, of who I am. I just adore them so much, I can't imagine anyone, let alone Spunk, loving me like that.
Believe it, Ash. Spunk believes in you just as much as you believe in them. And right now they're putting their faith in us to pull through here.
Believe in the me that believes in the you? Is that the line? I think it's a reference to something I haven't seen.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in you or something.
It's a reference to something I haven't seen,
There's a
but it's
whole-
referenced all the time.
Complex bullshit in there too, I think.
What?
I think there was a whole complex bullshit in there too, but I forget what.
I don't know references. You're right, Queen Bee.
I mean, that reference is basically a meme, so let's just look it up. Gurren Lagann.
All I know is that's a show.
Yep. There we
All
go.
I know.
I want to believe in me who believes in you. Know your meme.
What have we devolved into? Looking up memes. Ah, good. We know we're on the right track.
This doesn't even explain it properly. Whatever, never mind. Back to the game. I always am, so let's fucking do it. For Spunk.
For Spunk! We smile at each other, ready for the battle ahead. Sisters in arms. Rounding the bend of the forgotten coffee house, instantly we see them. The lovely chainsaw. We don't even make it another 2 feet closer before we have a gaggle of very irate schoolgirls glaring us down.
And only one of them is properly masked up. I mean, come on.
This is before the virus.
Is it? Is it though? Did Iris exist before the virus?
What?
Did Iris exist before the virus?
Yes. The one who claimed to be their leader back at some arcade is steps forward, motioning for the rest to stay put while she does the introductions.
I'm not taking all three of them.
I don't think all three of them talk.
They might. I guess I can
I think you took the leader last time.
Paul, who goes there? I mean, it might have been you because I was Sue.
Maybe? I don't remember.
Whatever, I'll do it. Halt! Who goes there?
I'm Ashley.
And I'm one of the 4 Heavenly Kings, Queen Bee, professional badass and Fist of Discomfort champion. We're from some arcade place. Queen Bee, that's... None of that is relevant to this gang. I don't think any of them. Everyone around here calls me Mel. What the fuck are you doing in my territory? It looks like a couple of wayward girls lost their way home. We know exactly where we are, and we came to speak to you.
Yeah.
It's a shame, really. I'm not up for casual conversation.
The leader flicks her wrist, and 2 of her lackeys charge us, weapons in hand. I hold up my fake staff, shaking. Queen Bee steps in front of me, tightly gripping her battle axe.
We're after Sue and the Ghost Monsters. We have a bone to pick with them. You know, the one you took a pot shot at the other day?
Mel's expression turns from grimace to grin.
Zay, Nick, stop.
Yes, Mel.
After the Ghost Monsters, you say? Those fucking brats.
Mel spits the taste of their rivals out of her mouth.
Sue thinks she runs this town. That her little band of credit card thieves and blackmailers has any real clout. If not for her muscles, she'd be nothing. She doesn't have the guts to do to me what I'd do to her. Guessing she leaned on you, threatening ruin. Typical poser. Exactly. They fucked up our arcade, and we want revenge.
Yeah.
This may be from Ashley's point of view, but Queen Bee's doing all the talking.
Sounds about right.
Okay, you've piqued my interest. Go on.
The only problem is you don't know where they are.
I know you ladies desperately want to get your hands on the Ghost Monsters, but can't due to your high profile. So I propose a temporary partnership. You tell us where Sue's hideout is. We sneak in, take care of them for you, and they won't be bothering you after we're done with them. Fascinating.
Mel looks down at her hand, examining her nails, as if they're way more important and interesting than anything we have to say.
Girls, I'm afraid you're going to have to sweeten that offer. If I tell you this information, I want something else. Something to prove your loyalty to the lovely chainsaw.
Apparently, we can't get the details of the hideout without some sort of exchange. Oh gosh, we're in quite the pickle right now. Gotta think of something fast. What would Spunk do in this situation?
What would Spunk do in this situation? No.
Fine. We don't have the money for it, I understand. Some information exchange.
Hello, here to be Gavin. No.
But I voiced Gavin!
I don't care. You also voiced Teo. Let me know when you're also gonna act as Teo in real life.
Sorry, I don't dance. Come on, Ashley. What do gangs trade in? Besides violence or drugs, it's always information. I propose an exchange of information. I'll let you know a little secret, and we can know your secret. Mel looks me over from head to toe and takes a moment to mull it over.
I don't normally give two craps about gossip, but I suppose the right information can be worth more than anything you can offer me, monetarily. Your offer intrigues me. I accept.
I don't know much about Sue, except from what Spunk just told us. I hope that's enough. Word on the street is that Sue and her ghost monsters are connected to the arcade industry's megalomaniac, Deco. Mel's frown twists into an amused smile.
I'd call that an interesting tidbit, except I already knew that.
What?
I prefer getting hands-on, but I hoard a few secrets, just to be safe. Still, it's curious how you figured out that particular secret. How about you trade me the how rather than the what?
Oh, well, we think Deco used her to wreck our new arcade opening day. He hates our guts and wants us to go out of business. Just 2 plus 2.
The high and mighty Sue, a hit woman for hire. Figures. Well, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. I think we can do business.
I breathed a huge sigh of relief. Phew! I wasn't sure that was gonna work. How does Spunk do this all the time? They don't.
Actually, it was a little bit more specifically how we figured it out, which was that Deco and Hami let slip about the ghost monsters, even though their name has been scrubbed from all articles and news.
Yeah.
That's a much more specific and helpful how, but I guess Ashley forgot about that.
It's fine. As long as we got what we wanted, right?
You two girls have thoroughly impressed me. It takes a lot of bravery to come here and face us.
As I reel in disbelief, Mel motions for our 2 lackeys to come forward.
Say, why don't you tell the girls where those wretched ghost monsters hang out?
Gosh damn.
Yes, lackey?
Sharky brain.
What's wrong with Sharky Brain?
Melting.
Well, unmelt. Stick the brain in the freezer for a half an hour.
But then it would be inaccessible for a while.
Mm-hmm. Turn your head into a freezer.
How does one turn a head into a freezer?
Mm-hmm.
Please explain the logistics.
Well, according to you, you're a robot. So just install a freezer head instead of the normal head.
Where do I get a freezer attachment?
From the robot warehouse.
Which robot warehouse? Which robot warehouse?
The nearest one, they all have them. I'm sure they all have them.
I'm not sure where the nearest robot warehouse is.
Well, Google it.
Yes, let me quick Google. Google.com nearest robot warehouse. I'm getting a whole lot of Amazon warehouses.
You know, Amazon has started doing a lot of robots in their warehouses, I think. So I guess that is the nearest robot warehouse.
So am I just an Amazon robot gone rogue?
Maybe. Maybe they let you go free because you weren't useful enough because you were too clumsy. Broke too many packages, you know?
Am I just Amazon, a step towards Amazon's eventual takeover of the entire world? Am I a step towards Amazon's eventual takeover of the entire world?
Perhaps.
Is this some crazy conspiracy theory?
Nope.
Is this real life or is this just fantasy?
Fantasy. Definitely fantasy.
Huh. Well, that's boring.
Don't worry. If you want real life cyberpunk dystopia, Amazon's working on that too. They apparently announced a new Alexa for landlords.
Oh, that's good.
So that landlords can just drop in with camera and mic on their tenants. Or,
because that's not shady enough as is.
Or various other things like the tenant is supposed to pay extra for the Alexa in their unit. But
Because the tenant wants Alexa in their unit.
The logic behind it was apparently that some high percentage of people would like to have like a home assistant thing in their apartment, and that some large percentage of those people would actually be willing to pay a monthly fee for some kind of home assistant device.
For their
However,
eye on them?
no one said that that home assistant device should be provided by, paid for, and paid to a landlord.
Yes, people would love to have the landlord have access to more things about them.
Like, I have a Google Home Mini thing, and that's fine, because it's from me. I bought it.
Yeah.
It has my data, and when I leave, I'm taking it with me, because it's mine.
Yeah.
I don't really want, like, that provided by my landlord. Because if it was from my landlord, I'm probably not putting any personal data into it.
Exactly.
For that matter, I don't let my Google Home Mini have access to my calendar or anything. All of those settings are still switched to off, and if I want them, I go to my phone.
Makes sense. I mean, I personally don't even use the assistant that's on my phone.
I use the assistant that's on my phone sometimes for things like set a reminder or like add something to a grocery list. I've been using grocery lists more lately because of COVID.
No, I've never used it.
I don't usually keep like a grocery list thing of what to buy, but because of COVID, you know, if I miss something, it's a lot more difficult to go to the grocery store again. Or maybe not difficult, but a lot more inconvenient because, you know, we don't want to be going out too much. So now if I like run out of something, I add it to the grocery list right away. And that way when it's time to go grocery shopping, I know exactly what we've run out of. That way I don't miss things.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I'll just grab my phone and tell it like, oh hey, add lemon juice to groceries list or something like that. But even the home assistant, I don't give it access to that. So like, I have to go through my phone to do that because I don't want anyone who like visits my apartment, which granted we're not getting any visitors right now, but like in the future or whatever, to just have access to like knowledge about my calendar, my groceries list or whatever, just because they're in my home.
Makes sense.
For that matter, I got annoyed at one of my friends once because he was visiting and thought it'd be funny to have like the Google Home search like lingerie or something. And I told him off for it because I was like, look, that goes into my search history. I don't want that in my search history.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
Why would anybody think that's a funny idea?
Yeah, but he thought it would be funny to have the Google search for like a lingerie store or something. Something along those lines. And I was just like, what the fuck? Don't put that shit in my search history.
Yeah.
Because it's connected to my account. Like, it will add it to my search history. And that will influence my search results and advertising and stuff. And I don't want that shit there. I don't want that in my data. I think I went in and, like, deleted it. But it was still very annoying that he did it in the first place. So that kind of thing is exactly why I'm like, no, I'm not giving my Google Home access to my calendar and shit. Because then any person who, like, comes over in the future could just tell it to do stuff to my calendar or my search results or whatever.
Yeah.
It can already do the search results thing, as I'm saying. So I'm like, nope. Especially because I think the phone one recognizes you by your voice specifically. But I believe the Google Home just recognizes when someone says the phrase.
That's not good.
Yeah, which is fine for like if a guest wants to like ask Google to play a particular song or something.
Yeah.
But like some of those other situations, it's very annoying and I don't really want them to be able to do that.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, that was a long tangent. And I believe you still haven't heard this line.
Tangents. Who tangents?
This is supposed to be the thrilling conclusion, but we gotta get there.
What? Yeah, we'll see about that.
We've got the skip button on our side.
I don't know how to voice this. My brain is going blah. It's like tangenting. Tangenting's nice.
Hmm?
My brain doesn't go blah.
That's not the line.
It's not?
That's not the line.
Oh.
That's a very critical role of reading the actual information that this entire scene is about getting.
Is that critical though?
Yes. I'm still wondering because we don't have, well, we'll see if we, I don't think we can get this information from this scene. Because last time when we did the police scene, we got the even more critical information of her last name.
Yes. I guess we won't know this time.
Yeah, Mel only knows that they're connected, but she doesn't know really anything more than that.
Yeah.
So there's no way she could tell us.
There's a warehouse on the edge of town owned by some corporate called Nostalgia Commodities. You'll find them there.
Not bad.
Excellent.
Thank you!
I like both of you. You showed me guts and charisma, both qualities the lovely chainsaw specialize in. If you ever want to join our motley crew, you know where to find me.
Before I can say anything, Queen Bee grabs a hold of my sleeve and pulls me to her side.
We appreciate the offer, but we're good here. Suit yourself, ladies. But before you go, and because you've impressed me so...
She flashes us the most wicked grin. It sends shivers down my spine. Is she a spooky, scary skeleton?
I'll let you in on another juicy bit of info. Free of charge.
Mel snaps and both Zay and Nick stand to attention.
Tell her, Nick.
The one with the chain loosens her grip on that weapon before coming over to my side. Leaning over, she whispers into my ear. My eyes go wide.
Did they know?
Oh my god.
I guess they know. Well, she said the line.
Consider it a parting gift. Now, go. But seriously, if you don't get off my turf, I'll be forced to bash those pretty little skulls in.
And pretty? Without another word, I nod dumbfoundedly, and both Minky and I hightail it out of there. Battle axe in tow. Once we're out of earshot, we take a minute to compose ourselves.
What was that about? What did she say?
Oh, it's juicy. Real juicy. I'll fill you in once we're in the car and safely out of here. We actually did it! Not that I doubted us for a second. Okay, maybe I did, but it was only for like 3 seconds? With the information in hand and another bit of gossip, I can't wait to share it with Spunk. Can't wait to see their reaction to the news. But they scoop me up in the biggest hug and smother me in kisses for a job well done. Ooh, how exciting.
That's... Okay.
What? This just might be the grain of rice that tips the scale in our favor.
I awaken to the sounds of pain.
I thought you were gonna say the sounds of the skip button. What, like, where I can't go for broke if I'm a cautious kind of person? Well, it's not so much that you can't, more like you shouldn't find anything that goes against the skip button. Quirky. Quirky. According to my calculations, right now, your best bet for how to convince you is to be quirky. You're a fun-loving soul, always quick with a joke. Make sure you play off Sue's sense of humor and keep things light. And if I don't want to take that approach, it's a bit late to change who you are as a person, Spunk. It's a bit late to change who you are as a person, Spunk!
I'm like, if we tried really hard, we might get steady up to tie. But no, we're not going to.
Remember, My numbers and scores only help me understand who you are. Who you are is who you've chosen to be. It's a causal relationship. But with the help of your friends and the skip button, we'll get through this together.
Wow, we skipped one line.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I got news for you.
Ashley rushes over to my side and sweeps me up in a hug, somehow delicately crushing me into her. It's nice to feel her warmth cocooning me. I gently push myself away to peer at her smiling face, eagerly awaiting the word.
Well, the suspense is killing me. Is it good or bad news? Please tell me it's good news. Queen Bee and I heckin' did it! We confronted the lovely chainsaws and convinced them to give us the deal. I pretended to be brave, but Queen Bee was a total
Badass.
as per usual.
Even though she said hecking earlier.
Uh-huh. We heckin' did it! As we for sure know, we for sure know where their secret hideout is. And you'll never believe this.
Ashley looks around briefly, making sure there are no other prying ears, and leans in. Her hushed words tickle my ears.
We know her real name. It's Tsunami. So good too. It's such a joke. It's such a good joke.
No, it's not!
Yes, it is.
No, it's not! It's terrible!
That's what makes it good.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
I jolt back, stunned at your terrible sense of humor.
I never said I had a good sense of humor. I've never claimed that in my entire life.
Then you shouldn't feel like you have the authority to say whether a joke is good or bad.
At some point, it does go to taste. Tsunami?
You'd been assuming all along that the ghost monsters were guns for hire, paid off by Deco Nami to ruin our opening day. But if Sue is actually Deco's daughter... Yep.
No! It's not awful!
Tsunami. Tsunami. Tsunami? Seriously? Deco should be tried in the Hague for that one.
In the what?
Hague?
Don't know what that is.
I believe it's a European city. Her kid must have gotten it from all sides growing up with that kind of name. No wonder she turned to a life of crime. Maybe I'll be lucky. And she'll be mad enough to punish him for the name by drowning him in a tidal wave. Maybe, maybe not. No way around this now.
Okay, this changes everything.
This changes nothing.
It's absolutely bonkers, right? I'd have never guessed that. Not in a million years.
I guessed it.
A million years!
Am I a million years old?
Yes.
I should retire into death.
No, that's not allowed. This makes things more complicated, doesn't it? How are we supposed to convince her now that we know their family? Blood is thicker than water.
Even though that phrase has been used to completely turn backwards what it originally meant.
Yep. Well, we'll just have to make our water real thick, like a slushy. Wink. We get finished sand.
Mm-hmm.
I never think of something's fun. And when you do, I want to be there, right alongside you. the whole time. I need to borrow a few of your sewing needles. I'll suture us together so I can't leave your side. Oh, Spunk, your jokes always make me laugh. It's probably the most adorable, albeit a tad creepy, thing anyone has ever said to me. But I understand what you're trying to say. Together, we're in this together. You and I, forever. Forever. All this mushy stuff is fantastic, but maybe we should save it for afterwards. What's the plan anyway?
Iris told me I only get one chance at this, that I need to go with whatever I do best. But if I talk this through with someone, maybe I can learn a different path.
We're not learning a different path. I don't have a concrete one yet. I'm open to ideas. How would you handle this?
I mean, I think that, what was it? Flower said that the steady ending is almost never, well, that ours was like the first time Flower saw it streamed.
Porky was done.
Like on stream.
Yeah.
And that Quirky is like the next least common.
Yeah. Yeah. How would you handle this? Sue's a colorful girl. She's got spunk, and she's got sass. I think you should play to those strengths and joke around with her. Maybe if we match up her antics with ours, we might just best her at our own silly game. With more mischief! No one can outplay me. I'm Spunk, arcade manager, lover of Ashley Wolf, and all-around cool kid.
What?
That's
She's
what
our
I'm
lover?
talking- Wait, what? When did that happen?
Oh, we're her lover. Oops.
When did that happen?
Lover of Ashley Wolf. I guess we're lovers.
When did that happen? What? That's what I'm talking about.
Ashley takes my hands in hers as her jovial manner ends on a serious note. She looks assuredly into my eyes.
I will follow you into the depths of hell. Hopefully the hideout isn't located in some sort of fiery depths, but I appreciate the sentiment,
Thank you.
and I appreciate everything you've done for me.
I thought we were done with the mushy stuff, Ashley. Ashley closes the distance between us and our lips touch. It's a long, passionate kiss, one I never want to end. But I know it must. Ashley pulls back, her cheeks flushed as her hair playfully falls in front of her face.
I know there's stuff you gotta do before you go, so I won't stall you any longer. I believe in you. We all do.
She places one more sweet, quick kiss upon my lips and leaves. Well, this is it. Either we sort this mess out or some arcade place crashes and burns. Or I get killed. I guess that's always an option, considering we're about to go confront a street gang that indirectly got me shot in the first place. I don't even want to consider the possibility of death. I'm immortal until proven otherwise. But, well, if this is the end, I should probably have some words with my friends before I march towards doom. If only to get their opinion on how I should approach Sue. Grabbing my crutches, I thump swing my way out to the arcade proper to track down some folks.
Okay, bye!
Let's see. I've already talked with Ashley. Who else do I want to talk to before we leave?
Okay, peace, bye!
Really? But what if some of them might give us more quirky points?
Who would be giving us more quirky points?
The other quirkies. Juniper.
I thought hers was kindly.
I don't know, we can skip through. We went through all of them last time, so like,
We did.
the only new one would be Juniper, right?
No, we did Juniper's.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's the same since I think that hers was in the employee room.
Hmm. I mean, you can try, but
Let's try. Juniper's grabbing some dinner at the moment. I've never seen someone angrily eat hot wings before, but somehow she manages it.
Come on.
This whole situation is total poop butts.
poop butts.
She lets out a heavy sigh as I approach.
That sucks.
You just dug yourself out of the hole your life had become, and now you're gonna lose another arcade? It sucks. Seriously sucks.
Some arcade place isn't lost yet.
But it's not like you have a total plan for how to save it yet, right? Other than go talk to someone who may or may not help.
Honestly, that's about as much of a plan as I ever have. And right now, it's as good of a plan as we're gonna get. You're going in my place. How would you handle this?
Well, I guess there's two tricks I'd try. One, she's a teenager, right? A rebel to the core. Be a rebel, a dissident, a class clown. Connect with her on that level and make her feel like you're wild too. Two, she is a teenager, right? I remember being young and totally stupid. Let her make a mistake, then outthink her. Keeping calm and using that to react to her moves. I guess they're wildly different ideas, but hey, one of them will work, right?
Are you saying that Spunk can outthink somebody?
I wonder if Juniper always gives the top two traits. Nope.
Nope. It's not gonna catch up. When it comes to strategy, I've got more experience under my belt than she'd have. I can outthink her, should it come to that.
I'm not trying to have it catch up. We basically already decided we're doing quirky. That's fine.
It's the only time we will.
Exactly.
Definitely.
You know, I'm proud of you. I mean, we could do quirky for Percy or Queen Bee. Depending how this goes, maybe I'll choose quirky over kindly for Percy.
We need to see the kindly one too.
We will. Probably for Naomi. Yeah, probably for Naomi. I was trying to think of who the other ones are. But Gavin has to be steady.
Has to be.
Yes, has to be. Percy's is up in the air. We can decide later. I guess we should do kindly for Percy since he's next. You've come so far from the Crankle-Bottom family curse days when you'd blame all your misfortunes on fickle fate. Instead, you're diving in and trying to strangle fate with its own strings. I want you to know, win or lose, I'll still be here.
Yeah, that's for life.
I'm your best friend, arcade or no arcade. And even if you lose this place, you'll always have a home. I'll make you pizza bagels and give you a shoulder to cry on.
All the cartoons I can watch too. I have a blankie, a hot cocoa, and a 6-season box set of animated antics to go with that shoulder.
You know it. Okay, I'm sufficiently cheered up thanks to your infectious spirit. Now get out there and let him have it, Tiger. I'm just gonna run through the other quirkies, just to see.
Whack.
Cause didn't they all have like
I don't remember.
an extra option? I forget. Let's find out.
I honestly don't remember. I don't know. Like you said, it might not work. I may need a firmer technique.
Possibly. Wish I could be of more help, really, but, well, no matter what, if this turns violent again, you should take the better part of valor and run for it. You've got your youth and your health. Take it from someone sitting in the Reaper's waiting room. There's no sense hastening that meeting. Yeah, I think they generally give a bonus option anyway, so we can just get more quirky points.
Stab, 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 stab. You know, if you need a new ticker, I can always tear mine out of my chest and give it to you. I'm supposedly already dead for considering confronting Sue, after all. I know you've said time and time again that there's nothing you can do about your dad's hangings. But seriously, dude, nothing? Nothing at all?
He does seem to chuckle a bit at my suggestion, but when I push him hard on his options, he pauses before replying. Spunk. Don't be sad. It's quite fine, really. I've made my peace with this. I've prepared to ensure my legacy continues long after I've passed. Don't forget, I'm reasonably wealthy, and charity will benefit from my passing, enriching the lives of others. No, death isn't my foe. He's become an ally, one I will walk with in time. But our focus tonight should be on you, not me. Don't let my situation weigh on your mind, not at this critical moment. I'll hear no more of it. Understand? I guess we're not good enough friends with him to save him. No.
Well, how will it turn out next time? How will it turn out next time when we're dating him?
Yes. Well, last time we were, like, closer with him than way down here. And then he's like, well, there might be this drug that I could try. But this time we're not even getting that, it seems.
Fine.
Lovely.
Now, go out there and do right by your friends. Save some arcade place. I've decided to hold out hope after all. Lovely, isn't it? Who else do I want to talk to? I think we should just run through all of them. We have a skip button.
Power of the skip. My arcade empire shall feast on the corpse of Deco's palace, shall strength and nourishment from it, and emerge a new juggernaut of the shrink.
Objection.
Yeah, okay, that's pushing things a bit far. And I prefer small arcades to big, faceless corporate masses, even if they've got your name written on them. Still, I get what you mean. I admire the way you carry yourself with confidence. It's confidence I rarely have.
Okay, now you're selling yourself short. I haven't known you not to speak your mind.
Well, that's largely when I'm with people I trust to hear me out, or when I'm annoyed enough to not let something go. But I'm working on it. I'm getting better every day. And I've got you to thank for that. Well, I thank myself for making an effort, but you helped.
So how do you skip? I don't know if a softer approach is going to work here. I may need a different tactic.
It's up to you. I'm sure you'll figure something out. I'd better get back to work. These replacement ROMs aren't gonna socket themselves.
Even if the arcade ends up closing down?
I'm deciding to be optimistic. You can do it, Spunk. Best of luck. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, mind if I ask your opinion on something? Yes, skip.
What, you don't want to hear her out? Put me in a nurse's hat from Scrubs. I'm ready to take on the role of a caring nurse. Bring me all your ailments. You might need a nursing degree for that one, Spunk.
I'm really like, did they originally have Teo planned to be the steady quirky instead of steady bold? Are these like leftovers of an old idea?
That's... maybe? But next time I scrape my knee while playing Showtime stage, you can bandage it up.
I smile at Teo. He's always got a way to bring up the mood, and right now I could use that brightness. See? Very interesting.
Skip!
Obviously, Queen Bee is playing Fist of Discomfort, right?
As much as I'd like to, she doesn't like the spotlight being taken from her. I think there's a better way to handle this.
You might be right. No matter how you decide to take Sue out as one of the 4 heavenly kings, I endorse you. In fact, I wouldn't have furthered my career as a pro gamer if it wasn't for you. When you first showed up at the Funplex, I thought you were gonna be an easy fodder for me to crush beneath my heels.
This is supposed to make me feel skippier? All that's left is to convince you that I'm a...
Badass.
Maybe I should hand her a business card that says professional
Badass.
on it.
More like those are my business cards. But I might let you borrow mine if it means we win. Seriously, I'm confident you're gonna win Sue over. Okay. I can't handle any more of this mushy friendship talk. Ugh. It's gonna ruin my reputation as the most radical person here. You can't have that. We can have the one steady, right?
Take this matter seriously.
Yeah, we have room for the steady.
Are you sure?
We have room for one steady. Just one.
That's about to get. Let's balance it out. Look, on the bright side, if we beat Deco, I won't have to sell my kidneys to strangers on the internet so we can make payroll. Yes, well, I suppose that can technically be considered a bright side. All that remains is for me to wish you the best of luck. Now, Skip.
I take Ashley's hand in mine as a soft smile curls my lips. We're ready to depart and face our destiny. Together.
Spooky! Wonder how many scary ghosts haunt this place. Traditionally, it's 13 ghosts, right? Does that include the ghost monsters? Oh yeah, how could I forget about them? Including them, I reckon there are 18? But still, too many ghosts for my liking. Can you think of a better place for a street gang to lay low? Oh, great, another obstacle in our path. There's one more thing binding Sue to Deco.
Was it? Yeah.
Don't give up yet, Spunk. I'm right beside you, and I'm not going anywhere. Although, I'll leave you to do the speaking. You're much better at socializing with the enemy than me. I'll speak up if I notice anything, though. Oh gosh, it's now or never.
I sigh once, looking over at my companion. I'm sure glad I'm not going at this alone. I'm nervous for sure, but I know what I have to do. Excuse me. I settle down on my crutches, armpits resting on the padding as I prepare. Sorry.
Bless you.
As I prepare to enter the belly of the beast. Alright.
You are now ready to proceed. Good death.
What? Bad dad? Terrible father?
Yes. Shall we eavesdrop or shall we charge in?
You tell me.
We saved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charge!
You understand, yeah?
All I want from you is so very, very little. Just destroy some arcade place. Why is it so hard to do what your father wants?
Yes, Dad. Sorry, Dad. Yeah, I'm not a fan of all their family psychodrama. And frankly, it bores me. I'm not here to play therapist, I'm here to kick ass! What I need to do is make a lasting impression on Sue. Show her that I mean business. Which is admittedly a bit difficult to do while on crutches. So rather than charge up there, I start banging my crutch against the handrail of the stairs leading to her gathering.
Ghost monsters! Come out and play! It's time to make amends for what you did to some arcade plays.
Damn, that feels good. Right in line with my usual style. Your usual style. If I wanted a reaction, I got one. Immediately, two of her goons flank us, ready to pummel us into human goo. Before Sue raises a hand to stop them, and I sigh in relief. Sigh, please. Come on up, come. I wasn't really prepared to entertain guests. Don't got a pot of tea boiling, but why not? Mi casa es su casa. Sue's weirdly cheerful about this development while Deco is clearly the opposite of amused.
Hey, ready for a bad joke? Su casa.
Now's the time to use this moment to my advantage, and I know just what to say.
Deco! Money! Pal! How's Tregs? Gosh, it's been so long! Feels like just this morning you're at my arcade, threatening me, and now here we are! What a coincidence!
Deco's face twists into a grotesque blend of anger and fear.
What in the hell? I can't be seen here. If any record ends up online.
Jeez, Dad, relax. Clyde. On cue, Clyde steps out from the shadows.
Both of them have phones. One has an Iris assistant loaded. We're blocking their outgoing data streams. There should be no verifiable data evidence of this conversation uploaded anywhere. I can't stop Spunk's Iris from hearing you, but I can hijack your account and delete anything so we can manually wipe the memory. Just say the word.
I'm like, for being super cyber criminals, it seems like probably Sue and Clyde are the only ones actually doing any hacking.
Uh-huh. The other three are good muscle.
I suppose. We'll see. Thanks, Clyde. Clyde nods in agreement, backing out of the spotlight.
Sue, pay no attention to that old fuddy-duddy. All your dad does is make everything messy, and that's no fun at all. Meanwhile, look at yourself. You aren't anything like him. You're cool, you're hip, you're fun.
You've got a great fashion sense.
And that's all you, girl. Seriously,
Unfortunate.
if you think you could come here and skip, come on, what's the fun in that? I claim to battle, and I challenge you to a pizza bagel eating contest.
I smile confidently at Sue.
How about instead of having the ghost sponsors here pummeling us in the street pizza, we have a sort of pizza chase it challenge?
The cogs turn in Sue's mind as she glares at me quizzically. She waves at the ghost monsters to stop their advance, and they immediately relax out of their fighting stance. Oh, and what do you have in mind?
Hi, Spunk, Curse Breaker, Arcade Lover, first of my name. Challenge you, Tsunami, Cyber Criminal,
Badass.
Punk, heir to the Nami estate to a pizza bagel eating contest.
Sue bursts out laughing, but when she locks eyes with me, she knows I'm serious. Oh, for real?
As real as it gets.
She brings her finger to her lip, toying with the idea, letting it linger on her mouth. My palms are sweating, awaiting her response. Truly, this is the best shot I have. I'm not much of a strategic thinker, I lack the moxie to fight her outright, and I've never had an eloquence with emotional words. I'm all about eccentricity and having a good time. And if an eating contest with one of my favorite foods doesn't scream fun, then I have nothing left to offer. Not to mention, over the last few months, I've consumed so many pizza bagels that my stomach is an iron fortress. Sue is still contemplating the challenge when something interrupts both of our thinking. Sounds like your stomach wants this more than you do. But Ghost Monster snicker behind her. And I can't lie, it's been a while since I last ate.
I'm hungry to win.
I like your spirit, Spunk, and I've given it a good think. Let me just say that I'm totally down for it. Let's do this. I breathe relief while Deco huffs annoyance.
This is ludicrous. This is absolute madness. Sue, this is... Sparky.
Cat. My choice. Chill it, Pops. This is my house, and in my house, we play by my rules. And my rules 100% include competitive eating. That shuts Deco up promptly. He grumbles, crossing his arms in defiance. It's hard to tell which is the child and which is the adult at this point. She turns her attention back to me. This'll be no walk in the park, Spunk. Oh, no. It's not going to be a regular competition of whoever eats the most pizza bagels wins. Ugh.
Didn't expect it to be easy.
Good. So this won't shock you when I tell you we are playing until someone pukes. You heard me, Spunk. This is for all the guts and glory.
Meaning, if you vomit before I do, you'll ditch Deco and join me?
Yep, and if you throw up first, your ass is out the door with nothing. As revolting as that sounds, I don't really have a choice. I sort of put myself in this situation, and honestly, I'm not worried. This is my strength. There is no time for doubt anymore. These were my terms originally, Sue just took it to the next level. I nod to her. Excellent! I'm like, wait, does this mean that we're not touching the maze at all and we're just eating pizza bagels?
That's what it sounds like!
Oh my god. Now, Clyde, if you'll step forward. Clyde, dear, would you?
It would be my pleasure to eat these pizza bagels in your honor.
I'm like, ah, Clyde has a crush.
Yes? Yes. What? But my challenge is to you. My challenge is with you, Sue. I'm one of your ghost monsters. No offense, Clyde. None taken. But I'll gladly do whatever Sue wishes of me.
Someone has a crush.
No help.
No.
Wait one sec.
Cat. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack. Quack, quack. Quack. Meow.
You want the mousey? You want the
Meow,
mousey,
meow,
Mom?
meow. Meow, meow, meow.
Oop.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.
Okay. I took out my secret weapon, which is that I have a mouse toy for him to play with. So now I think he's amused, at least for the moment. Yeah, hashtag sorry not sorry. I'm like super lactose intolerant. I can't consume a drop of dairy without instantly throwing it back up. And And that's not much of a fair fight, Spunk. So Clyde here will be my mouth. I grumble in complaint, but still there's no turning back now. Denying Sue would just make her dislike me and turn back over to Deco.
Sure, it's fine.
Also, did I forget to mention that Clyde can eat anyone under the table? I've seen them consume more food than humanly possible. Sheepishly, Clyde looks to the floor and smiles weakly.
You did forget that part.
I shrug reluctantly, and Sue takes that as an indicator to start things up. Alright, punch it, Clyde!
What? We're punching Clyde?
No, Clyde is punching it.
What's it?
Clyde takes out their phone and, using their index finger, taps the middle of the screen. It's a second of pure silence before I hear a mechanical whirling from a distance. I feel the ground shake as I watch the floor beneath us separate and a platform raises from the depths.
Yes!
Fog billows up around the platform and in a dramatic fashion, and colorful spotlights illuminate the catwalks.
Yes!
Once the theatrics die down and my eyes adjust, I note 2 tables have been moved into place nearby. One is plain, nothing but chairs surround it. The other is draped in a fancy silk tablecloth and covered in pizza bagels. Mounds upon mounds of pizza bagels, all matter of kinds and flavors.
Are these pizza bagels cooked?
It's more than my taste buds can handle. Presumably?
I love this! This is amazing! But how?
What? You don't think I'm always prepared for an eating competition? Ha! We do these every Thursday night! Plus, my buddies are in the drama club. They can move set decoration around like whoa! Everyone's laughing. Even Deco cracks a grin, save for me and Ashley, who exchange awkward glances. No, without any further interruptions. Allez, cuisine! Clyde smoothly slides over to the bountiful feast, ready to begin. Meanwhile, I stumble along on my crutches, trying to keep up with them. Sue commandingly sits at the head of the table so she can watch everything. She leans back confidently, her arms resting behind her head. Her smirk hasn't left her lips since we started. Clyde quickly picks up a plate and, with no regard to flavor, slides an armful of the little delicacies onto their dish. A couple even topple off the edge and fall onto the floor. Once filled to the brim, Clyde turns around and sits down at the table. It's my turn now, and looking over at the choices, I feel a pang of anxiety. I have a decision to make, and there are too many delicious choices. Which one do I take? Click save. Do I take my favorite one? If I lose, then I'll never be able to consume that kind of pizza bagel again. Or do I take one of the less palatable ones? What if I'm too grossed out and I'm gagging on them midway through the competition? My hand shakes, hovering over the pizza bagels. I make a snap decision and my hand reaches out for...
Breakfast? What?
Presumably like eggs and sausage or something. I don't know. It is a bagel.
You make a choice.
I'm also like, I've only ever seen these 2 options for pizza bagels. I think the rest of these are just normal pizza options.
On the bagel. My pizza's on a bagel.
You can have
do
pizza
whatever you
anytime.
want. When pizza's on
I
a
think
bagel,
that we should
you
go
can
for
throw
Supreme
over-
because we are trying to reign supreme.
pizza's on
A
a bagel.
delicious combination of pepperoni, sausage, olives, and bell pepper. It's a pure pizza miracle they fit it all on that tiny bagel. After I fill up my plate with supreme pizza bagels, making sure it's roughly the same amount as Clyde's, I make my back to the table. The only empty spot is a clear invitation for me, and I sit my butt down next to Clyde. Looking around at the completion of people beside me, this is either the strangest family dinner or the best poker table I've ever been at. I could cut the tension with a knife. Luckily, Sue shatters the mood by hitting the table with her fist. Good golly, it took you long enough, Spunk. Clyde here looks like they were ready to take a nap waiting for you to fill up.
A series of metal catwalks and platforms aren't easy to navigate on crutches. But I'm here now, and I'm ready to win.
Don't go counting your chicken pizza bagels before they hatch. Clyde, any last words before your face is stuffed full of microwavable meals?
I won't let you down, Sue.
I'm glad to hear it. What about you, Spunk? Wow. Well, we were already making this reference.
We're already making the joke so often. I have the advantage, for I know that when pizza's on a bagel, I can have pizza anytime. Woohoo! ABB, always be branding.
Smooth, real diplomatic. But I tire of all this yapping. On the countdown from 3, we start. 3, 2, 1, eat! In one smooth movement, my hands reach and grab pizza bagel after pizza bagel and shovel them into my mouth. As I chow down, the supreme flavor explodes in my mouth. The tang of the tomato sauce combines with the gooey bagel, a semi-nutritious form of edible heaven and hell. But I don't have time to sit and savor. I need to chew as quickly as possible. I continue the motions of mastication, and I realize my mouth is insanely dry. It's getting harder and harder to chew with nothing lubing it up. I look up to Sue and make a motion with my free hand for a drink. Oh, silly me. How could I forget the water? Pinky, get these fine people some water. Pinky hastily brings us huge red plastic cups and places them down in front of us. My jaw aches from the chomping, and I gladly welcome the liquid. Taking the cup in hand, I
want to go with 1 or 3.
I feel like 3 is just gonna make us more likely to throw up, so I would go with 1.
Let's go with 1!
I take my supreme pizza bagels and dunk them into the water cup. The texture of slimy, wet pizza bagels. Yeah, it's not the most enticing feeling in my mouth, but chewing them up has become twice as easy. I'm powerhousing through these now. It feels like it's been forever, but it couldn't have been more than several minutes. As I stuff more eatables into my body, my tummy's already feeling it. But it feels like success! This is barely a dent in my iron insides, and I could eat this like this all day long. The remaining pile of pizza bagels still in front of me doesn't even matter. I'm not slowing down, not for an instant. Sizing up Clyde's plate, we're neck and neck. They're slightly shocked that I'm able to keep the pace, but they give me a friendly nod as we continue the onslaught of our stomachs. Sue watches us intently, and glee spreads over her entire face. The ghost monsters are cheering on Clyde, whose eyes haven't really left Sue. Their entire concentration is focused on her. Just from their dedication, I can tell that Clyde cares for Sue, or else why else would they be doing all this for her? You don't just go through horrible indigestion for the... I don't know what that's supposed to be. Shits
Crap.
of it?
Yeah,
Fucks of
that's
it?
what I think. No, I think it's the first one.
Shits?
Yeah.
That would make the pun.
Yes.
My eyes move from Clyde and Sue to Ashley, who's rooting for me. I feel our hearts connect at this moment, and I wink as I push more tiny treats into my hole.
Infinison!
However, it's not before long that Sue has something to say. This is great. I mean, really, watching you both shove food into your faces is priceless. You both look like little pizza chickmunks. It'd be really cute, except for the sauce and cheese smeared all across your faces. Clyde, you even have it in your hair. How is that even possible? Clyde shrugs, their mouth too full to respond. As I was saying, it's great, but it's really missing something. Something more unconventional. I'm no normal lady, so this is no normal eating competition. So I had Inky prepare you a little something. Inky! Inky comes over carrying 3 covered silver platters and places them on the table before us. One by one, he lifts the cover to reveal something truly revolting. One platter has completely burnt pizza bagels to a crisp. Gross. The second one has raw pizza bagels, the uncooked slime glistening in the light. Super gross. The final plate has completely frozen pizza bagels. The crystals from the freezer burns sparkle wildly. Super duper gross! Does this answer your question from earlier?
I guess?
I make disgusted faces in between bites of the normal pizza bagels at the entourage of gross newcomers. And if Clyde is at all disgusted, they aren't showing it. Once the damage is done, Inky sits back down at the family table. Now this will make things way more interesting. Spunk, to continue in this food competition, you'll have to choose one of the options and consume all of them. If you don't pick one, I'll take that as you giving up, forfeiting the win. You'll have to pack your bags and limp your loser ass home. Sue giggles as I'm completely at her will. Taking a closer look though, there are only 12 of them. It's not that bad, right? I can stomach this. Because, hey, since I'm a generous gal, I'll even let you have the first choice. Clyde doesn't seem to react to anything Sue throws at them. They keep on chewing, completely and utterly focused. Come now, we don't have all day. Make your decision, Spunk. Sue throws her head back and laughs. This amuses her all too greatly. Just the thought of all these make my stomach start to turn. I look at Sue, then back to my plate, then back to Sue, and then, finally, at Ashley. Pleadingly.
Don't choose the frozen ones. They're much too cold for your mouth. But don't choose the burnt ones either. They're also gross. They're also carcinogenic. Also, the raw ones could have deadly E. coli, which could kill you. So not those either.
I give Ashley a loving, but this is completely not helping. Look, the last thing I need to worry about is death by pizza bagel.
They're all bad. Sorry, Spunk. Just choose the one that makes you want to hurl less.
I'm like, oh no, the chance of success didn't go up.
Yeah, but it did go down.
Hush from the peanut gallery. No help, please. Sue tries to undo it, but it's too late. I'm already inspired. I can do this. Don't think about it. Don't think too hard about it. I just have to go with what my gut says. Just as I finished up the last of the bagels on my plate, I reach for the next plate.
Which one?
Well, in my mind, we have water. So if they're burnt, they'll be sort of crispy and require less, of the horrid chewing. But then you would have water to wash down the dryness of them being burnt. Or frozen. Raw's
Or
just...
you just continue dunking them. Or you just continue dunking them.
Or that, I guess. I feel like if they're crispy and burnt, then washing them down is actually easier. Or we dunk them. Anyway, that's my thought process. What's yours?
I don't have a thought process.
I like how all of these options now are just quirky, quirky, quirky.
Quirky, 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 quirky! Not the frozen ones. And yeah, not the... just go with burnt.
There is a method to my madness, I swear. While not the most tasty, burnt food is easy to digest. The proteins are already denatured at this point, making the gastrointestinal tract to absorb it and move it along quicker. I choose the burnt little pizzas and pop them into my mouth. They taste singed, but I simply chew them up and swallow. Ah, a wise choice, Spunk. I just hope you don't vomit. Or do I? Sue's taunt means nothing! This doesn't even slow me down. I'm so glad I paid attention to all those cooking shows Juniper and I watched until the wee hours. I look over to Clyde and they swipe up the frozen ones and begin tackling them. I can see Clyde struggle with the toughness of the frigid bites, but perseveres nonetheless. The untrained eye might not notice, but I catch Clyde wince every time they bite down. My stomach continues to fill and I feel it more with every bite. I worry how much of this I can actually take before I burst. But I can't give up, not when so much rides on this. A synchronous movement, Clyde and I pick up the last bagel on our plate and chomp down hard in unison. We exchange glances, and even though we're pitted against each other, I feel some camaraderie with them. That's not how you spell camaraderie. It's still that's also the wrong two. They were tired when writing this one.
Probably.
It's still too early to tell just whose stomach will come out on top, or rather, stay in. Sue knows it as I defiantly lock eyes with her. I continue chewing until the last bite. Meh, that challenge was a real yawner, which means I got to spice up this next challenge, literally.
Oh, fun.
Blinky, bring forth the hot sauce! Blinky stands up, producing a giant bottle of hot sauce from his pockets and slams it on the table. If I wasn't worried before, I am now. As you can see, this is a one-of-a-kind condiment. Ghost Monster Pepper Hot Sauce is over 1 jillion units on the Scoville heat scale. This is the kind of sauce that's so hot it goes back in time and kills your ancestors. Only the bravest souls dare attempt to consume it. If you were otherwise detained, I heard Blinky whip you up a batch of pizza bagels dosed in the stuff. On cue, Blinky stacks another plate of pizza bagels in front of me and Clyde. They're drenched in the red viscous liquid dripping onto the plate. The ratio of hot sauce to pizza bagel is not forgiving. They're practically more sauce than bagel at this point. Aw, don't be shy now. They aren't that bad. Honest. I gulp audibly before taking one in my hand. Clyde and I toast the bagels to each other before we say goodbye to our taste buds. Instantly, my entire mouth is aflame. It's hot. Really, really hot. Not in the, oh, it's a hot summer's day. Oh no, it's like my lips are literally on fire. Chewing is barely an option as my eyes water and I open my mouth hoping for a rush of cool air to find its way in. My cheeks flush and every millisecond becomes more painful than the previous. I told you it wasn't for the faint of heart. But like I've said, I'm not a mean person, not like my dear old dad. So I'll give you some options to cool down your mouth. Blinking back tears, I barely see Blinky bring us a plethora of options and sets them in front of us. See, I've provided you with some more water, a glass of milk, a couple slices of bread, and freshly squeezed lemon juice. Enjoy! The spice is getting in my head. I feel dizzy and the pain is reaching excruciating levels. Knowing Sue, not all of these options will necessarily help me. She wants me to spew my guts, and if that means from pain, well, she plays to win. But there is one thing I know that will instantly cool down my mouth, and I reach for the...
Not the water! Does lemon juice help? I haven't heard that one before.
Well, like it said, not all of these choices will help.
I know milk generally helps. I've heard bread generally helps.
So, what it is, I think, is that milk, if I remember right, has certain, like oils or proteins or something, that basically lift the spice off your tongue so that it doesn't remain. Bread, I assume, does something similar where instead of lifting it off your tongue, it would probably soak up those like oils directly into the bread. However, I'm leaning towards milk because bread will fill us up more.
That is true.
Milk is also kind of filling, but bread's like more carbs, and we have plenty of carbs here already. So I'm in favor of avoiding more bread things when we're already consuming a bunch of bread-based stuff. Nothing extinguishes a mouth fire faster than a glass of milk. Milk molecules bind to the spice molecules and wash it all away. It's science! I was right. At least I think that's the science behind it. I grab the glass of milk and swish it around my mouth. Instantly, I feel relief. The same can't be said for Clyde, however. Sweat drips down their face and I can see them falter. They may be able to eat me under tables, but spice isn't their strong suit. Finally, I gulp down the final hot sauce-drenched pizza bagel as remnants of heat still linger in my mouth. But I haven't hurled chunks yet. I'm still not giving up. Not on myself, not on the hopes and dreams of everyone from some arcade place. Lifting my hand, I wipe the crumbs from my face and look Sue dead in the eyes.
Just looking at her, I'm still hungry.
That's definitely the taunt. Do we want to taunt her?
I mean, you can't break me is also like, you can't break me.
It's defiant, but I'm still hungry is the most like goofy taunt. Which I'm perfectly okay with choosing. I'm just saying.
It.
Huh?
I love it.
Is this your choice?
Yes.
Okay.
Call this a meal? That was not but a measly appetizer to whet my appetite. Keep the dishes coming. I could go on like this for days.
A wry smile bends the corners of Sue's mouth. Well, well, well. Look who's finally come up for air. You've been so focused on eating, you haven't even said a word. I applaud your attempt at goading me, but I ain't about to fall for your viperian tongue. I gotta give you credit, though. This just keeps getting better and better, and really, I'm highly entertained. I honestly can't remember that last time I had this much fun. Clyde, when was the last time we had this much fun?
Exactly 173 days ago.
That's right, but let's not get too carried away in fond memories. We're in the here and the now, and no one's puked yet, and I really want to see that. So, I've got one last challenge to make that magical moment happen. You know what they say about not exercising right after a meal, right? Well, put on those workout clothes because it's time to fight to get fit. Gotta burn off all the excess calories. My stomach groans in defense. I'm slightly relieved that I don't have to shove any more pizza bagels down my gullet. But I'm more distraught that the next phase in the challenge is extreme movements with a gut full of food and crutches. I remember seeing the poor fools at the pool who went swimming right after chowing down a hearty meal. It wasn't a pretty sight. The cramping, the bloating, me jumping in to save them. Gosh, I sure hope Sue doesn't reveal a swimming pool underneath this arcade. And if this wasn't bad enough, I'm still recovering from being shot.
Yeah. But I'm still on crutches. Doctor said I'm supposed to take it easy.
You don't think I can't see that? It's not like I'm going to force you to run a marathon or divert a river or any other Herculean task. I know your limitations, and so should you, yeah? Because I'm just the nicest person. I'm going to let you just choose the exercise. I don't care what you decide, so long as you're moving that body.
I'm not sure if that's being nice or sadistic.
Both? Sue winks at me. 6 of one, half a dozen of another. But can you blame me? You come here into my house, you play by my rules. And that's that. I can't really argue on that one. But my stomach can. It hasn't stopped complaining about the gastrointestinal abuse I've been putting it through. You've had quite a break with us all, just chatting away. Enough of a rest to settle that tummy of yours. Now shut up and move. Both Clyde and I stand up from the table. I hobble my way to a more open space. There aren't any weights or exercise bikes for me to use, so I'll just have to make it up on the fly. Once I get into the spot, I take a deep breath, preparing myself mentally and physically for this challenge. As if dropping the mic, I cast off my crutches. I hit the floor with a resounding clank. Now I'm like, oh no, I regret the milk. Hello?
Yeah? Hello?
You didn't respond.
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Because I figured you were going to say something else.
No.
Like, wasn't gonna respond if I thought I was gonna cut you off.
No, there's nothing else to add there. I just regret choosing the milk now.
It will be fine. What's the worst that can happen? Throwing up? That's already what we expected. Alright, here goes nothing. I don't know what the second one is.
If I remember right, that one's intense. I think that's where you like jump and then squat down and like get into like a push-up thing, and then you have to get up again and do it over again.
Oh no.
I think that's what that was.
Yeah,
Let me
then
double
no.
check. Yes, the burpee, a squat thrust with an additional stand between reps, is a full body exercise used in strength training and as an aerobic exercise. The basic movement is performed in 4 steps and known as a 4-count burpee.
No.
Begin in a standing position. Move into a squat position with your hands on the ground. Kick your feet back into a plank position while keeping your arms extended. Immediately
Okay.
return your feet into a squat position. Stand up from the squat position.
That's evil. Let's not.
I
do
think
that.
I've also heard of it being a jump instead of just standing up.
That's evil. Let's not do that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Which one of these is the less intense?
In terms of us being on crutches and having a leg injury, I want to say plank because that's like ab muscles and not leg muscles, because the others all basically involve your legs doing stuff. That said, ab work is going to be the most intensive on your stomach, probably. But it shakes your stomach around least, so on the other hand, feels the most avoidant of throwing up, I guess.
Let's do it!
Because the other ones you're like you're moving around a lot.
Yeah.
Although, she said shut up and move.
Defiant plank!
Quick save.
Yeah, that's fine.
Carefully, I lower myself into a push-up position. I keep my body straight and my abs tight. Wait, isn't that a dead meme? Although it can't be easy on your gut. Okay, I'll allow it. Holding the position is easy enough on my injured leg, and I'm in minimal discomfort there. The true challenge is what's going on with my abdomen. It's all about core strength for this exercise, and tightening those muscles is making my stomach hurt. Feeling my abs push back against my stomach, there's just not enough space in my torso. But all things considered, I'm holding on. It's not unbearable yet. I can endure. I notice Clyde is just mirroring my movements and keeping at my pace. Oh no, the chances of success didn't go up.
Yes, but it didn't go down.
Can it go down?
What?
Can it go down?
I mean, possibly if we choose a very bad answer. I think we're at the top.
I'm just curious.
Oh no.
I'll go back and go back plank again.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
doesn't actually go down, I think. Because that's obviously like the worst for us, I think.
Yeah.
I noticed Clyde, although it made a sound like it was going down, but
I'm guessing we reached a point where it's kind of just, no, we're good.
so I guess kind of like Flower said last time, it's a lucky thing Sue likes us.
Yeah.
I notice Clyde is just mirroring my movements and keeping at my pace. Any other day I'd be down for a more traditional plank off, but I'd like an empty stomach and healed leg first.
Yeah.
Glancing at over at my competitor, our eyes carry the same weight. We've come this far and we're still holding on. Whether it's out of pride, strength, or a mix of both, we can't tell. We are here. The whole world just blurs away from this moment. Deco, Ashley, the ghost monsters in the arcade. It's just me, Sue, and Clyde. And stop! Clyde and I face Sue and stop moving. From behind her back, Sue produces one more pizza bagel and holds it out to us. The final one. The room is dead silent. It takes a moment for my brain and my GI tract to fully comprehend what happened. There's no way I could eat another one. My insides howl in distress, and as I look at Clyde, I can tell they're suffering too. We exchange nervous glances and weakly reach out to Sue. We're barely keeping it together. We both feel it now, the pain in our guts, the anxiety of losing, the worry of spewing all over everything. Come on, someone better barf soon. What's the holdup?
What was that?
It sounded like a wheel spinning.
Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot.
My stomach gurgles audibly as I feel bile crawl slowly up my esophagus. My mouth waters as I hunch over. I'm about to burst. I open my mouth. And close it up again. Clyde horks all over the floor. The thought of one more pizza bagel was too much for them. Everybody takes 1d6 splash damage.
Yes!
I recoil, trying to calm my own gag reflex from mirroring Clyde. I can't help but feel sorry for them, but better them than me.
I'm sorry, Sue. The
vomitus just doesn't stop, and the ghost monsters rush over to help their companion. Oh, jeez. Clyde, you gonna be okay? Clyde gives a thumbs up towards Sue before retreating to take 5 and get some water. Iron stomach, much? That was a blast! Are you always this much fun to be around? I weakly nod, wiping a little drool from the corner of my mouth.
Now then, we are quite done with the ridiculous schoolyard fun and games.
Yeah, we're done here. I've decided to help out Spunk. A win's a win, and a deal's a deal.
What?
What, you were there? You know, you've been honest with me and willing to put up with a staggering amount of my childish shit. That shows character, shows strength. Shows a hell of a lot more strength of character than my father's ever managed, in fact. Spunk, I think we can do business. You want to save your arcade? I've got the evidence you need to stick Daddy Dearest behind bars for the rest of his life. Every dirty deal I've ever helped him carry out, and believe you me, that's a lot of extremely filthy, filthy deeds.
You can't do this.
How dare you?
I forbid it. You're my daughter, and if I go down, you're coming with me. My arcade business, I'm dead.
No, you have to read this first.
No. This is completely unacceptable. I'm your father. I'm Deco Nami. I am the arcade business. My arcade business. I'm dead.
I'm father.
I'm your father.
I am your father. No, I'm dad.
Do it. Hi, arcade business. I'm dad.
Did you seriously just dad joke my dad? Damn.
Right, I did.
Sweet.
Insignificant little.
Are you still here? Not for long.
Oh, right, you were red?
I think so, because I think he was the one cussing up a storm, wasn't he?
All right.
This is how I remember, is that of the ghost monsters, I think I'm Sue and red for cussing.
Makes sense.
I haven't lost. I can still fight this. I can still.
Guess he read it for you.
Okay.
And the ghost monsters remove Deco from our sights. Instantly, the entire atmosphere of the place changes, as if a great weight has been lifted. I couldn't be more relieved, and I relax into a sigh.
How is Ashley gonna respond?
Not gonna lie, the next few days will be interesting, to say the least.
I think you better stay at my place. My parents won't mind at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to hide out until the heat's off. Maybe practice batting my eyelashes at a weak-willed jury box full of concerned parents, too. Sue blinks in astonishment. Oh, right, Spunk, you're still here. Oh, I knew you were special. Knew it from day one. If the heat ever cools off and we make amends with the lovely chainsaw, I might pop by your arcade, play some games, and not stir up any trouble. I'll keep my promise. The public will know Deco hired a gang to go after you. That should exonerate your arcade as a victim of his shady dealings. So, we square?
Triangles and circles! Square. We're square, circle, rhombus, and octagon. Or up, down, left, right, BA, square.
That's not how it goes, but okay.
Well, yes, it's up, down, left, right, BA. Start.
Is there also select after that?
No. The original Konami code is just up, down, left, right, BA, start.
I feel like I saw select tacked on at various points. I don't know. Sweet.
Oh my gosh!
I can't believe it. You did it. You actually did it. Ashley, you helped too. We did it.
She did not help. She stood there and said, "Oh no, they're all bad."
That's helping in some form. Together. We did, didn't we? You know, we made a pretty perfect team. You and I, me and you. And now that the evil has been vanquished, a new calm will spread across the arcade lands. Arcades everywhere will thrive, and the people will prosper. Okay, finally live happily ever after.
Putting the cat toy back 1 sec.
Okay.
Oh my god, they wrecked. They wrecked it pretty badly in the last few minutes.
Really?
Yeah, the fake fur is coming off a little bit on one part.
Good job.
And it's coming unwoven. I'm keeping this particular one in a drawer so that they don't get bored of it, so that I can whip it out when they get really fussy. But they've been destroying it really fast.
Thank you.
I like that.
The next few days passed by in a blur. Fortunately, Ashley was on hand to keep me hydrated and encourage me onward. Everybody loved to see a fallen family entertainment icon. With delicious chow and great prize games, we are the family fun center in this town. With Deco's Palace on the downslope, we're just picking up steam. Going with a restaurant and a prize focus turned out to be a terrific combo. True, we don't have too many retro games or competitive titles, but what we have isn't bad. Most importantly, we're making people happy every day, and I love it. We became the new Dave & Buster's.
None of that discomfort and burgers.
But the arcade in the end is less important than the people who call it home. Cute. I honestly didn't expect how some arcade place exploded in popularity after we took Deco down. With the newfound fame, people loving everything about the arcade, including Ashley's mascot. Kids and adults alike adored them. We ended up making plushies, posters, action figures, t-shirts, everything of the mascot, and people gobbled it right up. Half of profits are from merch alone. Watching Ashley watch people love those creations filled them with such excitement that we started working on a secondary mascot to debut at Summer Arcade Place next month. Complete with backstory.
Of course! Of course! This is gonna be the best costume I've ever made. And you did it all while believing in yourself and your talents. I'm so proud of you. Magic!
Hi!
Hi!
Aw, cute! You came just in time for the end.
Yeah!
Welcome to the epilogue. You've missed the whole ending, but that's okay. Welcome.
And
Sorry for, I guess, spoiler.
my work here is done.
Oh no, don't leave! Wait! Wait, no, you should still stay for the epilogue, unless you want to avoid spoilers, but also just stay with us. Hang out with us.
I'm so proud of you that you offered to wear it at the grand reveal. You're going to look cute as a button in this. Cute as a button in this. With you crafting it, I would expect nothing less. Just think, after we debut this new arcade hero, we'll be an unstoppable duo. I'm here for you guys, not necessarily the game. Aww.
Aww. Well, thanks.
People will demand all sorts of new swag for these characters. Maybe they'll even make an anime about it. Regardless, I'm sure people will love it as much as I love you. Now, hand me those buttons and hot glue gun. We've got a costume to complete.
Buttons and hot glue gun. You're not sewing the buttons? But she's sewing?
Is this an ace run? No, we did an ace run last time.
Oh.
Yes, hello.
What name did we give you before? Did we just call you Love? I forget.
Heart. Yes, our first run through was an ace run. Now we're going through all the romances. Yeah, I think it was just Love.
And the first one is Ashley, so this is our Ashley ending.
Yeah.
Also just in time for the ending. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So we've got a lot of fun romances to go through.
Also, welcome back, Love.
Yeah.
Which just makes me feel like I should be saying it in Percy voice and British. Welcome
Really?
back, Love. Iris explained to me that irises, being adaptive software, eventually become more and more like their users. My fun-loving attitude was infectious enough to infect Iris as well. Oh no! She has a virus! It's us!
Yes!
She's been practicing her sense of humor recently.
Maybe I can convince humanity to accept AI through humor. One day, I'll put a caption on a hat that's so funny, human society will universally crown me the new queen of memes.
Should have worn a mask and stayed 6 feet apart. Gavin stood watch over our dream, protecting it for many years to come. As our business manager, he took advantage of the fall of Deco's palace to make some arcade place the hottest new arcade destination on the block. Yes, this is not an ace run, but we did make our location ace.
And we are still monsters.
Someday Flower will maybe forgive us. Possibly.
Maybe.
Or never. Hasn't come back since.
I vote for more apostrophes in the names as we go on.
Oh my god. Next run we'll give our MC one of those bullshit elven names that has random apostrophes in it.
Yes! Yes!
But most importantly, he never lost sight of the real goal.
I'll protect your dream to the very end. Ensure you can always make the arcade you've always wanted.
But Spank!
That is true. We could have Spank. And then just imagine Percy dating Spank.
I feel like for Joe's sake, we'll, if she's on for that, she can decide Spank or not.
Joe would probably love it.
Joe would probably be pro Spank.
Joe would definitely be pro Spank.
I'll let her decide when she's here.
That is very fair, Magic. You can count on me as a friend and ally in every battle to come. Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Alright. We'll name the arcade based on some Zelda bullshit.
Yeah.
It'll just be the arcade that gradually gets more and more apostrophes.
Yes!
But the MC won't.
That's what makes it hilarious.
Okay. Well, Gavin?
I already read this.
Did you?
Yes! You just don't listen.
I thought you read this one.
I read both of them.
When the four heavenly kings invited her to live and play at their team house, Queen Bee instantly said yes. Listen, kid, I'm sad to leave you, but I'm not gone for fucking forever. This is my true home, and you're my family. I'm gonna come back and visit. And often. And that she did. She stops by as much as her schedule allows, and even brings some other big names to the arcade. We always live stream her matches on the big screen, cheering for her all the while. Woo! This win is dedicated to Spunk and everyone else at some arcade place. I couldn't have done it without those amazing friends of mine. We always keep Fist of Discomfort warm and ready for her next visit. Teo kept the Showtime stage scene alive here at some arcade place, even after he got offered a job as their regional community manager. He's doing what he loves, teaching and connecting with all sorts of people. Teo's new job has him traveling and organizing dancing tournaments around the world, but he still spends most of his time right here.
I'll put a D in charge of the local dance crew while I go establish a news team on the other coast. But I'll be back before you even notice. And when I come back, you promise to get on the stage with me. You owe me a song or two. Wink.
Oh no, I'm getting scared. Percy.
What? Oh no, Percy!
Through the good times and the bad, Juniper stuck by me. My PFF for life. I'm really proud of you, you know? You pulled yourself out of the tailspin your life was in. You went for it. You did it. You made it happen. I'm lucky I got to be even a small part of that.
A large part of that, I'd say. I wouldn't be here now if not for you.
Hey, I'll take credit if you want me to. Just call me Juniper, the life coach. And you know I'll be in your corner until you're dead. Hopefully later rather than sooner, though.
Bleh.
No.
Percy!
Percy only had 2 years left to live, but we made them happy ones. We were his friends, and we would be friends until the end. About 1.5 years into the age of some arcade place, the Mr. Moopy high score fell. At last, Percy had achieved his dream. Soon after, he decided to return home to England. I think he was seeking new healthcare options, or maybe he was just homesick. I'd like to think he's still out there and thriving, and if not, well, he achieved his dream, and I doubt he had any regrets. But I have regrets! We didn't kill him, but we weren't close enough friends to convince him to more seriously seek treatment.
Yeah.
Because in our previous run-through, we were not dating him, but we were closer friends with him. And so we managed to convince him, like, is there anything else that you can try? Like, are there any other treatments you haven't looked into? Please, you don't have to give up on your own life. And he's like, well, there is, like, one experimental drug in development right now that I could join the trial for. But this time I think we weren't close enough friends with him, so he didn't try for it.
Yeah.
Percy, no!
We will make it up to him by dating him in the next life.
Are you sure that's making it up to him, or is that worse for him? Eventually, Naomi chose to leave some arcade place. You know what? It's probably, yeah, because they're the lowest.
Yeah.
It's probably that Gavin, Queen Bee, and Teo are our next highest, and then the bottom two
What I think it probably is they just didn't hit some threshold.
Or that.
Because last time I think Naomi was one of our lowest, but they hit the she hit the threshold.
Presumably. I mean, we had them all mostly even by the end. We were almost completely even by the end.
Lol, Naomi.
We had that screenshot.
Don't roll at Naomi!
In my run, I went for Naomi because she was green.
That's fair. That is very fair.
She's our second last planned.
Yeah.
But she chose to leave some arcade
Green
ace.
equals hearts.
That's a purple heart!
Not a green heart? Frankie, no.
Sorry, I saw green above the B, and I'm just like, Queen Bee? But this is Naomi. She's not Queen Bee. I'm like, is there a green heart? Is there a green anything? There's a... Well, there's a green creeper. Brain slug. Green team? Green team works, I guess. I don't know what that's from, but... She was looking for her dream and we couldn't quite provide it. Is Naomi a frog?
Green equals 9, yeah.
Yeah. Cute! What's this one? Pride Love.
No.
We'd never really been close, so I can't say I'm surprised. But she's doing well. She's founded an online community for arcade repair enthusiasts, a way to join the crowd on her own terms. When she showed up, Gray, I was like, is she dead?
Last time she dated someone, now she's gone.
Although it's like also a little bit comforting that she and Gavin don't necessarily end up together as long as we don't date one of them. Mm-hmm. Seeing as I feel like, then I just feel like I'm being a homewrecker if I do one of their routes.
But they're not dating at that point. There is no home to wreck.
I mean, we're not good enough friends, so I have to kill you now.
Get the prop shotguns, Ashley.
Load them prop bullets. Yeah, I'm like, they're not dating from the beginning, so there's no home to wreck per se. But we also hear right away in like chapter 1, Ashley already being like, I wish they would hurry up and make out already. So I still feel like I'm interrupting something. Love and friendship in a time of pixels and quarters. Finally, I'm home. Some arcade place. Thank you, some arcade place. My spirit is restored, and my future is bright. At last, I can say.
Having a ball.
Few others can claim to have had such a wild ride as I have. And in the end, I had fun. I'm looking forward to each day to come and what antics I'll be getting up to. Because this is some arcade place. Naomi gives you food at the beginning. How come you don't go for Naomi? We have a spreadsheet. Well, I have a spreadsheet because I like spreadsheets. With the order of who we're going for. And usually I leave my favorite for last. And Naomi is second last. As Sharky's other favorite. Ashley being the first favorite.
They're both good. They're so good.
They're both good, yes. They're all good. All of the characters are good. I do like Naomi.
Do you not like Ashley?
I do like Ashley. This was an entertaining run.
Eat the pizza bagels.
Shove more pizza bagels into mouth. I'm just getting started. Roll credits.
See, what I just realized is because we save the data to transfer to the next game. I am curious to see if they mention the arcade name. So if we go into the next game, they talk about discomfort and burger apostrophe S.
Well, yes, there is one character that we can date, but we don't have a meter for them. To get a hint as to which one, you can look at the achievements available for this game. I think you can look at the achievements for a game even if you don't own the game, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
So you can check
for...
the achievements for it, which reveals who it is. I don't know if you want me to say who it is. But Flower confirmed. It is not the computer.
Yeah, Flower confirmed that a while ago.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of confirmed by the achievements.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little surprised that that one's not like a hidden achievement.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess... You can also look at just the store page for a hint.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
yeah,
a
she's
dead
underage.
giveaway.
She is underage.
She is underage. She's a teenager. She's like 16. I don't want to be the ghost, or I don't want to go out with the ghost leader. I want to be the ghost leader. I want to be Sue. She's great.
Oh, no.
No. We can't have that. No. I just want to be a ghost.
Waka,
Also
waka,
that.
waka, 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 waka.
I don't want to have Konami as a father. Oh! Wait! I didn't even catch that!
Oh my gosh!
Rip.
We got the one.
I was wondering, because I was like, oh, we have Tsunami as a joke, but is Dekonami also a joke?
Konami.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We've been saying it all this time and we didn't even catch it!
Konami.
I also keep forgetting if it's Deco or Deco.
I think it's Deco. Wait, when did they mention Netflix? When did they mention Netflix? Have we seen that?
I don't think we saw that one yet. Maybe we did.
Super Arcade Spirits 2 Turbo.
But it's not Super Arcade Spirits 2 Turbo, it's Arcade Spirits A New Challenger!
Well, I think Flower also said they're updating that one. I think Flower said they're gonna actually update that.
Oh, in here?
Yeah.
Netflix is all-encompassing, ever-present.
But also, that Hope to See You Again, and that is a really funny joke. Because it is a reference, and it's a funny reference.
Yes.
So when they didn't know a name, that's a good enough funny name.
Yes. Game over! Thank you for playing.
Thank you for playing my game.
We lost because Percy died.
No.
I like to believe he's still out there somewhere. Having a blast.
Playing Moopy.
Well, he achieved his dream for Moopy.
As a ghost. Waka 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 waka.
Should we read this? Should we skip this?
Let's skip it. No.
No. We already have a good file.
Okay. Thank you for playing.
We did it!
We already have the best file. Wait.
You're a winner!
Actually showed up. Into heart.
Oh, you know what? It's probably like the,
Muscle Cat.
yeah, where they showed up in the coffee cup.
Makes sense.
Flower did mention that they took a lot of inspiration from Hustle Cat.
Yeah. Which one did we get?
Huh?
Zombie Meltdown Pixels.
Light gun games are a classic staple of arcades, and wild 80s patriotism is just as classic. patriotism is a lot less classic now. Zombie Meltdown combines the two into a simple shooter where you take out radioactive commie mutant zombies and save America. The pixel art is originally from a simple point-and-click minigame I coded several years ago. The color palette started as a pure 16-color IBM EGA style, but gradually incorporated some 256-color VGA-style tones for things like skin. Well, non-irradiated skin. The nuke buttons would flip all zombies back into humans and all humans into zombies. A good way to rack up points on a level that's all humans, or to screw over player 2 and make them accidentally shoot a human.
I want to be commie mutant zombie. Nice.
Yep.
Let's look at the Ashley concept art. Wait.
Here it is. Quite an evolution of her hairstyles.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of sad none of them have the half-shaved thing. Side hawk thing? Side hawk swoopy thing?
Thinking about doing the flamingo on the shirt.
This one, which had no mascot on her outfit.
None. None at all. Very interesting.
I feel like I kind of almost prefer the shirt over the belt.
Pinky, the demon flamingo.
Yep.
Our new girlfriend.
Them friend.
Wait, what ones are the other? Extra life?
What?
Oh, okay.
Oh, another hint as to who the hidden
Yes. Wait, what's the last
dating
one?
character is. Huh?
What's the last one?
This one?
Yeah.
I believe that's for once you've dated everyone.
Ah, that makes sense.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sounds more fitting.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We did this. We did this. So I guess next time will probably be this one.
Mm-hmm.
Moopy early draft. Moopy! It'd be really cool if there was a bonus content of like a Moopy mini.
Wait,
Moopy mini game. Yeah.
I know what you were saying.
But yeah.
Your winner!
If I remember right, I think it's probably I think this was Naomi, Gavin, Ashley,
Perfect.
Percy, Queen Bee, and Teo. I believe.
And hidden. And then hidden.
It's not that hidden. And then Hinton, Love in a Time of Quarters, I believe, is once you've dated everyone.
What is it gonna be? If the dating is concept art, what is the final one?
It could be a bonus art of, like, all of them. Everyone's favorite love interest, redacted.
Redacted. I'm watching on YouTube somebody play a game and like there's all these documents are fine that are like keep getting redacted, so it's like blah 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 redacted, but redacted, 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 blah 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 redacted.
Here's our MC concept art, which there's a few different options.
Jean jackets.
I kind of prefer, well, it would have been cool if we could have chosen between these outfits rather than always the hoodie.
Yeah.
But I understand that's a lot of potential like art that they'd have to draw anytime MC shows up.
The next game sounds like it's gonna have a lot more.
Yes, they did mention the whole much expanded character customizer, which I'm excited for.
And the characters on screen like the entire time.
Also, this hair is long hair over that one, but I think this one is... I think part of the problem is that as an MC, they have a personality, but you also want to leave some of the personality up to the player. So some of these like add too much of a defined personality almost. Like this already gives you some idea of like personality in a way.
Yeah.
And they can only allow so much flavor to the MC just from clothing if they're going to be all in the same clothing, and we can only change the colors. +5 to Red Star.
What?
I am confused, but I think I approve.
Oh god. +5 to God.
Oh.
I said Red Star. Who's Red Star? Don't
Only
worry.
Red Fox.
I'm just dumb. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The next time, Percy.
Yes, next time will be the beginning of Percy, which means Joe's going to be thrilled for the next several streams.
Next, like 5 or 6 streams.
And hopefully everyone else is also thrilled. I am thrilled that Magic and Love are back today, even if it was only mostly for the ending.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're happy to have you, in any case.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Excited to meet the man you accidentally killed. We didn't kill him. We just weren't able to save him. Because he has, like, a family, like, hereditary illness thing.
Pride shrug. Such a cute pride shrug.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Hope you do get to meet Percy, because he's great. Although I'm also like, oh no, I'm going to have to do so much shitty British accent. Oh no. Wait, who's after him? Is it Queen Bee?
Queen Bee, I think. Yeah, I think it's Queen Bee, then,
Fuck!
Redacted.
Huh? No, after Queen Bee is Teo.
Oh, it's Teo, okay.
And then it's Redacted.
And Redacted.
And then Naomi, and then Gavin.
Okay. Thank you for the stream. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining. And now
Yay!
we're basically done. Sorry that we're ending so soon afterwards, but hope you join us again next time. And good night.
Yeah,
We'll
come
be back on
join us.
Wednesday.
Good night. Bye.
Bye bye.